You need to quit your job and you must quit now. I'm going to go over in this video exactly the main reason why I'm going to recommend to you that you should quit your 9-to-5 job. How to actually escape the shackles of corporate slavery and the realization that I had to go through my own journey of working a 9-to-5 job and what actually happened at the end. That was the tipping point for me to actually quit. Now, for the sake of my mindset, I'm going to go back to 2018 of the summer when I just graduated electrical engineering and finally found my first job. During school, I was so excited, so ready and happy to finally finish and go on with my life and finally enter the corporate world. When I got my first job, I got a job as an electrical engineer in Detroit, Michigan, making $70,000 a year. The day before my first day, I was so excited. All the years studying, every single exam I wrote, all leading up to this very moment. I was so happy to finally start my first big boy job in a great career that I thought I was going to be working for the next 40 years of my life. Unknown to me and what was coming ahead, I'm now going to take you down this journey of exactly the realization of what happened to me and the reason why I had to quit my 9-to-5. Now, the first 2 months of my job were all normal. I was working as a regular engineer in the office, coming in early, leaving a little bit late, doing everything that was asked of me just so I can look good in front of my boss and all my coworkers. And at this point, I was very, very excited. I was so happy to be finally working and finally making big boy money. When that first paycheck of $4,000 after tax hit my bank account that month, I was so excited to see that much money deposited into my bank account because I had never made that much money before in my entire life. Life was good, I was working my 9-to-5, and now this is where the story takes a turn. One day my boss came up to me and told me, Hamza, do you want to travel to Philadelphia and work on the job site? Now, if you're a controls engineer or an automations engineer in this industry, going to the job site is actually very common. I was so excited that my boss offered me to actually come and fly with him and work on the job site. I immediately signed up and I was really, really excited and happy. A week later, I land in Philadelphia. I go out for dinner downtown in the city by myself and my coworkers, have a great time. We start our night shift. And that first shift, I worked a 12-hour shift. The next shift, I worked an 11-hour shift. But at the end of that week, I had clocked in almost 20 to 25 hours of overtime. At the end of the month, I was so happy because of how much overtime I worked. I had a total of 60 hours of overtime I was expecting to get paid for. When my paycheck got deposited into my bank account that morning for the exact same amount of $4,000, I thought something was wrong. Maybe someone didn't ask for my overtime hours. Maybe something went wrong in accounting or billing. And that is when the realization hit me. I asked my boss and he said, because you're a salaried engineer, you're a salaried employee, you don't get paid overtime. No matter how many hours you work, you'll always get paid the same no matter what. I literally went into shock that very moment when he said that because I just realized I worked literally 50 hours for free that entire month for absolutely no reason. And this is another realization that I came into. When you're working in a corporate world and you're working as a salaried employee, there's no such thing as clocking at a certain time and clock out. Even though there is, if the rest of your employees are working on a salaried schedule and they're leaving and going as a job requires, you then will look bad in front of your coworkers and you will end up having to stay longer or come in earlier. At that point, I wanted to quit my job, but I couldn't. I had student loans I had to pay off. I had a wedding coming up in the summer. All I could do was just keep my head down and keep working, saving every single dollar that I made to pay off my student loans, save up for my wedding, just so that I can finally get married. 1 month passed, 2 months passed, 5 months passed. It got to the point where I literally had insomnia. I had no idea what day it was. I had no idea what week it was. I wasn't talking to anybody. I was working night shift, sometimes from 8 a.m. to 6 a.m., sleeping 6-7 hours, waking up with only 3 to 4 hours free in my day just to start the grind all over again. I was literally in depression. Sometimes I wanted to ride into the opposite lane on the way home for how exhausting this lifestyle had become. All to make a mere $4,000 a month as a corporate slave. I realized I could not do this for the rest of my life. I looked at my coworkers around me. Every single person had basically given up all hope and accepted this as their life for the next 40 years. I simply could not let that happen. I'm way too smart to be around these people and work for such little money. I had to figure out a better way, and I had to figure out a plan to get me from $4,000 a month to $40,000 a month to $400,000 a month. But at that time, the only thing I could do is just keep my head down and keep working, gaining as much knowledge as I possibly could, reading every book I could get my hands on, reading every single piece of material and content that would somehow, some way get me out of this lifestyle, watching every YouTuber, podcaster, everything I could about business, finance, economics, real estate, just so I can somehow, some way escape this dreaded reality. As you guys know the whole story, I then started the Airbnb business. My wife and I moved to Philadelphia. We built a company to over 180 units as of today. But now during that time of May 2021, my wife and I went from Philadelphia and moved all the way back to Detroit because my boss required me to be back in the office. During this time in May, June, July, I was making about $60,000 to $70,000 a month in revenue, profiting almost $20,000 to $30,000 a month while working 50 to 60 hours a week as my full-time engineer at my 9 to 5. You're probably wondering, why am I doing this? The reason is because I'm not a US citizen. My residency in America really depended on my 9 to 5 job. My visa only allowed me to live in America while I was employed. So during that time, while I was working the 9 to 5, I was also working on my business every day after work just so I can keep on grinding and keep growing. When I was finally back in the office, this is how my daily life went. To get to work was an hour commute. To get back was an hour commute. I would go into the office and already my brain was turned off. Everyone around me looked like and acted like an NPC. The only thing that I looked forward to during the entire day was going to the bathroom, going inside the stall just so I can go on my phone for 20 minutes. And during these long bathroom breaks, this is when I would schedule calls with landlords. This is when I would schedule calls with building owners just so I can close deals and make it happen. On top of all that, my boss was always on my ass, always telling me to do things, always telling me things that made no sense and I did not want to do. The biggest waste of time of my life was him telling me, Hamza, do this, Hamza, do that, while all I wanted to do was just grind on my business and grow this company. Now here's another realization that I came to. One day I stood up and I looked around at every single person in this office and I realized I do not want to be them. I do not want to be working for the next 30, 40 years of my life, sitting at a desk all day, making 5, 6, 7, 8K a month even. It's simply not worth it and not the lifestyle that I want. Every single person around me was deeply, deeply ingrained within the matrix. Every single person who came in early, worked late, and worked extra hard. I literally left at 5 o'clock every single day and literally did not care what anyone said or didn't say. I even had coworkers that were snitching on me because Hamza was leaving early. Hamza was coming in late. And after a few weeks of that, I finally decided, all right, I still need the job until I figure out my visa situation. So I acted like a good employee until that time came. Another realization I came to was, why do these people care so much about me leaving 20 minutes early? Why does that affect your life so much? And this is the next realization, is that people for some reason have this mentality that we are a family. Company cares about me. We are all in this together. We are all one. That is simply not the case. I have seen many people leave the corporate world, leave their 9 to 5 on Monday, and by Tuesday they had a brand new person sitting there doing the exact same role and the exact same job that they did. No one cares about you at your job. Not a single person, your boss, your coworkers, your employees, not a single person cares about you. Every single person is out for themselves to get ahead further than you. And a lot of people for some reason don't understand this. They think we're all friends and we're all family. That family word does not exist. I myself am an employer. My whole job is to extract as much capital out of labor as I possibly can. If I could work Hamza for 70 hours a week and only pay him for 40, I would love to do it. So at the end of the day, I couldn't blame them. I was willingly choosing to work that lifestyle, work those hours, and work for that wage while they were fully taking advantage of me, knowing that Hamza is willing to work for 70 hours a week, only getting paid for 40. If I could do the same to one of my employees, I would 100% do the exact same. Because at the end of the day, the whole goal for a business is to make profit, and that's it. Nothing else matters. All this family stuff is complete garbage. So around September, I finally figured out my visa situation. I finally applied for my American visa. It was gonna take about 3 to 4 months, so I knew I had to keep my head down and keep working on the business. By the time I got home every day at 6 p.m., I only had about 4 to 5 hours left with my day to actually do something productive. That included spending time with my wife, my family, my friends, my siblings, other obligations, going to the gym, working out, eating dinner, going out, doing mundane tasks. Only had 4 hours in the entire day to actually accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. And on top of that, working on the business. Finally, in December, 11 months ago, I finally went and quit my job. The minute I got my bonus check and I got my visa, I literally called my boss and told him I'm quitting. His reaction was very subtle. He said, "Do you mind me asking why you're quitting?" And I told him because I'm starting my own business. And he said, "Okay, thanks, drop off your laptop." The very next day, I went into the office and dropped off my laptop, and not a single person wished me well, not a single person wished me bye, not a single person even bothered to care or ask, saying, "Hamza, where are you going? Hamza, I hope everything goes well. Hamza, good luck with everything." Everybody was too busy at their desks, just working, working, working. Even my own boss didn't wish me well. He told me to drop off my laptop and exit the building. That day was one of the most happiest days in my entire life, almost tied with the day of my wedding. And then the next realization in my life that came from this event was understanding the value of your time. Now, if I break down my time on what my true actual salaried wage is per hour, if you take $4,000 after tax divided by 50 hours a week, I'm getting paid realistically $20 to $23 per hour. Is my time as an entrepreneur worth $20 an hour? No, it's not. I knew if I quit this job and I get all the time back, I can 10x, 20x, 30x this business, 50x my income just on this premise alone due to all the free time I have to now work on the business. And that's exactly what happened. I scaled this business from 80 to 90K a month back in December, all the way now to 450 to 500,000 a month. If your goal at the end of the day as an employee to keep working, to keep getting a raise, to get that 10%, to maybe put in those hours, maybe after 5 years get that 10% raise and keep grinding and making money that way, you will never leave the matrix. You will always be stuck working as a corporate slave. You will literally be stuck on the corporate plantation. They will dangle that 10% carrot above your head for the next 5 years, every 3 years, every 5 years, giving you an extra 2%, 3%, 5%. And when you do the math and realize how little pay that is for how much time you're working, you have to come to the realization that if I took this time and just bet on myself, if I just left the job, if I stepped off the corporate plantation and actually decided to bet on myself, could I make more than what they're offering me? Could I do it in a shorter amount of time? And it all comes down to how much confidence you have in yourself to deliver. You will never truly be free. Even if you're making 20K a month as a doctor, as a lawyer, as a pharmacist, no matter the job that you have, you will always forever be in slavery because of the simple fact. You have to work to make an income. There isn't a situation where you can go to Europe for 6 weeks like I did and get paid $300,000, $400,000 a month. That simply can't happen at a 9 to 5. You are never in control of your own destiny. Your boss and your employer and the company you work for will always dictate how you live your life. Every day when I wake up, I can do exactly what I want, go where I want, do whatever I feel like doing. If I decide to work on my business for 10 hours a day or go to Europe for 6 weeks, go to Dubai for 3 months, I can do exactly that. There's not a single person on this earth that can tell me what I can or can't do with my time. Now listen, I'm not saying every single person has to be an entrepreneur, but if you are watching this video, then there is a reason why. You have definitely thought about it and decided working at a desk for the next 40, 50 years is not the life that you want to live. It's not the life that your family wants you to live, and it's not the life that you're going to settle for. There comes a time in every person's life where you have to take that risk and go and take that leap and make shit happen. You can't always live a simple risk-free life. Big things don't happen in life unless you go out there and grab them. You have to take risk or else literally nothing will change, nothing will happen. So if you're watching this video, I promise you, 2023 is gonna be your year. This is the year that you're gonna change everything. You're not gonna work a 9 to 5 anymore. You're gonna start that 7-figure business. You're gonna build it up to where you can quit your 9 to 5 and then finally live the life that you've always wanted. Never in my entire life did I think I'd be buying Lamborghinis in cash at the age of 26. My dream car back in the day was a Toyota RAV4. In my community, that's a really big deal. Now I'm buying supercars like I'm buying iPhones. Everybody has their own reasoning and why they want to quit their job and what they plan on doing with your free time. Whether it be spend more time with their newly born children, whether it be spend more time with their elderly parents, or to go drive supercars and go on vacations with your girlfriend or your wife, everybody has their own reasons. But the beauty in it is that you get to decide what you get to do with your time. When you're working that 9 to 5 job for the next 40 years of your life, you're only gonna have about 2 to 3 weeks every single year to actually enjoy your lifestyle. It's up to you to break this generational gap and finally break free from the shackles of corporate slavery. I know you can do it because I've done it, and I am not any smarter than you are. I just literally took a huge risk and decided to work as hard as I possibly could, and it ended up paying off. The last thing you want to do on this earth is be 75 years old and ask that question on your deathbed, what if? What if I quit my job? What if I decided to pursue that entrepreneurial journey that I always could have done? And what would my life have turned out like if I took that chance? Thank you everybody for watching the whole video. I really appreciate you guys all supporting me on this journey that I'm on. I do intend to make more and more YouTube videos as time goes on. So please leave in the comments exactly what type of content you want me to film, and I'll go ahead and get that made for you. My Instagram and TikTok are right below. I'm really active on those social media platforms. I'm posting every single day the behind the life scenes and the behind the journey of a 7-figure Airbnb operator. Have a great day, everybody, and until next time.